Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a quick look at this 1979 Mack R685, and it's a very sturdy truck. It introduced back in the day a newer cab design which replaced the previous type which they had had from the 1950s, and this was quite comfortable, and also the engine and gearbox were upgraded at some point, which made the R series of the Mack, the 685s, quite comfortable and reduced the amount of work and fatigue on the operator or the driver. This design is second to, I think, one other design that they have here in the United States. I forget the name of the company right now, but this is in the series of the longest running trucks that have been in continuous production. And I think this goes back to the 1950s, and it was only discontinued, I think, only around 2005 or 2015. I'm not sure, but it's quite recent. The newer ones, I think you can see the difference and tell they are newer, but it was the same general principle from way back in the day, and of course parts were interchangeable. What more can I say? Well, this truck, it has dual tanks. I've looked online, there's very little information about this, but it has a stick shift standard transmission, not automatic, with, I believe, it has a little lever which I think it splits the gears. It's got a turbo, it's got an intercooler, you got the air intake right here. We're missing the front part of the grille, as you guys can see. The bumper up front here, solid metal, solid. And it's also got the Dayton wheels, which are in opposition to the Bod wheel type. So many of these trucks have been upgraded. If you look at the wheel, you can see it's got the 6 spokes, and if you look at modern trucks, you would hardly find this type of rim. The earlier versions, they had the split rim, but this one is we have a tubeless tire mounted on there, so it doesn't have the split rim, making it way much safer. As you guys can see, it's hooked up to, I think this is about maybe a 40-foot trailer, and this one has been modified to haul hay. So you see these extensions have been put in place, and then they go slightly upwards as they extend. That way they can hold a whole bunch of hay stacks on there. You got the landing gear over there. These are the driving tires, so you have 8 of them, and then of course you have the steering wheels up front. You got 2 tanks. Here is one on this side, diesel of course. Still has diesel from, I think, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Oops, there's that O-ring. I'll have to get that back in place. Oops. I'll come back to that. I don't want to crush that ring. Oh, there you go. And then the hood, it actually tilts forward in case you have to see underneath the hood. I've always done it with the help of somebody. I'm just here by myself right now, so it's fiberglass or maybe plastic. I don't want to break it. Once more, you have that Dayton style wheel rim, and you can see there's some dry rotting on the tire, and it seems to be low on pressure though. Yeah, need to pump it up. Here you could actually add some additional batteries, but on the other side we have the capability of putting 2 batteries and run this without any battery here. This is the negative end, so it's free to touch anything, but the positive, you guys can see, is well protected. More diesel storage here. Fuel tank, date of manufacture October 90. And here you have the tank, the reservoir for that runs the brakes. There you have the axle. It's kind of weird. It's like the axle is pointing downwards. You have the drive shaft. And you have a cover there that you can remove for inspection. Here you have the air brakes. You got the air brakes, and then there you can see the shaft running. You have the hoses for the air brakes. Here you have the glad hands. One would be the service line and one would be the emergency. I think the emergency might be the red. And it's a day cap, so you don't have anything back here. But I see a connector up there for some maybe some kind of accessory. There you have the glad hands and where they connect. See where this runs to. Almost seems like it's hardwired. I would imagine that it would normally have plugged up there, but there's nothing going on there, so I think it was modified and hardwired to the truck. You got the shocks, the leaf springs, and these are all drive tires, so they are different from the rest of the tires you have on the trailer, which would be the load bearing tires. And they also have the Dayton style rims. These are easy to remove, handle when you're by yourself, but you just have to be careful. After you do everything, you have to make sure the wheel is kind of centered, that way it doesn't wobble. And the danger with this Dayton style rims is that what is actually holding the rim onto the hub, all of this is the hub. Let me widen that out. All of this is the hub. And oh, there's a cat. Hey, kitty. Kitty. So here is the rim right here, and all of this is the hub. So what's holding the rim to the hub is this little pucks that you see right there. And if you don't have them tight enough, step really hard on the brake, the rim is actually gonna move relative to the hub, and of course that's not desired. There you have the steering arm, really beefy. Being that we live in a very cold climate, you have the plug-in to warm up the coolant during cold weather. And the cab, of course, you got the air vent. Oh, the poor kitty, it's trying to go inside. Here you got the grab handle, and of course we still haven't cleaned this out, so it's kind of a little bit nasty inside. Oh, here it's actually an R686ST. 686ST, and I think there's also some information on here about the axle, so maybe it's the 86. That tells you the number of tires. I don't know. 686. I thought it was a 685. And this is what the cab looks like inside. Sorry about this long-winded video. I didn't really plan out everything. Just thought about taking you guys on a quick tour. Let's step up. You got the driver's seat. Again, like I said, it's a day cab. This seems to be from... the seats are different. There's a control here. I don't know. Maybe it's an air seat. You got a scoop up there for air. You got the horns. And I believe this is for the horn. Marker lights. Oil pressure, water temperature, alternator, voltage. And this has, it's showing 152,000 miles. There's a 1 somewhere there. And you look further into the cab. I'm not sure what that is. You got the fuel here. You got the air pressure. Both systems, the green for the service and the red for the emergency, I believe. Don't quote me on that. The pyrometer, which would be the temperature of the gases heading into or maybe coming out of the turbo. I'm not sure. You got the heater system here, which seems to be almost like an aftermarket deal. The way it sticks into the cab, it makes me think it might be an aftermarket option from Mack. You got that ball there. I don't know what it is. Accelerator, brake, and the clutch. And over here you have the shifter. Again, like I said before, it's got that split, which I don't know how it works, but I guess I'll figure it out. There's no glove compartment. What you see over there is actually behind it. You have a bunch of fuses. So at the very top, you can use a coin and spin that out, and then you can get behind where there's a fuse panel and there are some relays. So pretty basic instrument layout. Here you have the parking brake, and here you have the trailer air supply. And I believe here it says not for parking. This is the jake brake. Emergency engine stop. And a huge steering, which over the years has developed some cracks. It's a plastic steering. Not much sound deadening in here, so I can imagine how noisy it is inside this cab. And notice also there's no like cup holders or anything to put your drinks upon on those long trips. Okay, let's jump down. Here you have a pocket. If you're running this as CDL, I believe this is where you put your documents so that they are within reach. There's no padding on here on the doors. They're just basic. And one other thing I want you guys to notice, the very tiny amount of rust on this vehicle. Had this been made maybe in the 90s and above, I'm sure the whole thing would be rusted out. But back here on the cab where water probably accumulated, you see some rust and a very thick layer of bondo. There you have the plate. The same thing follows with the trailer. You can see it's very solid steel. It's rusted, but not rusted through, so that's good. Okay, let's continue. Got some ratchet here for tie down. Toolbox. Haven't really looked into this. Feels like it's empty. I'll come back to that later. And the brake lines, suspension, Wilson trailer. That's what it says. Wilson Trailer Company, Sioux City. Okay, let's continue around. Let's take a look back here. And over here you have some light and mud flaps for vehicles that might be following the truck. You got a hammer, very handy when you're out here in the country. And I believe this might all benefit by getting some newer, updated LED lights. Shouldn't be too crazy to completely redo the wiring on the trailer. Again, once more showing you guys the Dayton style fixtures to hold the tires in place. This one looks weird. There's too much of a gap. I don't know if there's some spacer holding things in place, but yeah, I have to come back and check this out. Doesn't look very secure there. I don't know. Anybody with experience on this, please leave a comment. I don't know if they put some spacers on there. Side light is gone. Got the reflector. There you got a pin you can use to hook up stuff. I believe we'll need some grease on that. And you got the exhaust stack with the flapper at the very end to prevent water coming in, rainwater, snow, ice, dropping into the exhaust. This part of the exhaust looks new, together with the flex pipe next to it. And I believe that concludes our quick tour of this Mack model R686ST. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this and what maintenance items we should look out for. What things you guys believe might break. Next video, I think we'll try to pop up that cowling and take a look underneath the hood. Thanks for joining me, and bye.